I am Dr. Amelia Shea. My clients call me Amelia, and that's very good. And in this video, I would like to tell you about the models of therapy we use in Therapy House. As a bit of an introduction about myself, I graduated from Bachelor of Clinical Psychology 20 years ago in 2001. For the in the first phase of my career, I have worked primarily as a clinician, as a psychologist. I've worked in hospitals, in psychiatric wards of hospitals. I've worked as a school counselor. I've worked in many private clinics, and basically I've worked full-time for 10 years until 2010 as a psychologist. At the time, I was only working with adults. However, I am a trained couple therapist. So in the first decade of my work, I have worked with couples and I've worked with parents, helping them with their parenting practices. I also worked at a research institute where we studied parenting and best parenting practices for parents. Then in 2010, I went to the University of Queensland and I did a PhD in the area of developmental psychology. Developmental psychology is the study of human development across the lifespan, but mostly I worked with children, early childhood 3 to 5, and then young children from 5 to adolescent years. And that motivated me and actually gave me the confidence to work with children now in the space of therapy. So for 10 years, I was primarily a researcher, and I have first-hand experience of evidence-based practices. I have quite a large number of publications in prestigious academic journals, and I have a book chapter. I've written a book chapter in a book published by Cambridge University publishers. And these are academic materials. So I've gained first-hand experience on how do we gain knowledge in psychology. And then combining these 2 decades of my life together, I started working as a clinician and I established a therapy house, a clinic where I would like to deliver high quality, high standard evidence-based practices by people who have hands-on experience with both of these areas, research and practice. And something I would like to explain in this video, a lot of people ask me what models of therapy you use and how can you see, for example, children and their parents as a therapist. Well, psychologists work with different models, and models of psychology, there is no one model fit all type of thing. Some psychologists would be dedicated to one model. You might hear some psychologists are CBT psychologists. They only use CBTs, cognitive behavior therapy. They might only use with one person, one individual. That might be a child, that might be an adult. But if they accept one child, they don't accept their siblings or their parents. And that's quite a respected model, that's quite a valued model of therapy. Some psychologists, however, work with multiple individuals. I use a family system framework, and in a family system framework, each individual in the family is interconnected with each other, and their relationships have impact on each other. And of course, it's a bit more challenging to work with different individuals in a family. However, that's my work. I am a family therapist, so I work with families. I might see a couple, and I would also see their children in therapy, and I'm mindful of a lot of challenges that working with multiple clients can have. So I discuss it with my clients, I keep in mind, I discuss it with my supervisors, etc. And in terms of models of therapy, well, in these 20 years I am trained using quite several models of therapy. I will have a video explaining to you different models of therapy, but I am trained using CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and ACT, acceptance commitment therapy, which are broadly speaking technique-based models, cognitive-based models. But I'm also trained in using EFT, emotionally focused therapy, a very different framework, and psychoanalytic therapy or psychodynamic therapy. Quite different framework, which is relationship based, which is more long-term therapy, emotion-based therapy, different to technique-based therapy. But I have a procedure in mind, and with my clients I plan the therapy with them. So I discuss that with my clients and I decide what is the best model of therapy to use with my clients, and I sometimes give them some techniques. If it's working, that's great. I emphasize on the technique. Sometimes I feel like, well, techniques are not working for this client. We really need a deeper relationship-based model, and that's what I do. So therapy is a salient process. You can't decide on a model and that works for everyone. However, therapists they bring their own personality to therapy. So are clients. So not one therapist can be the best therapist for every single client. As a client, you need to find someone whom you feel comfortable with and you feel like you can trust. And therapists also bring their own personalities to the space of therapy. So nonetheless, I work with families, and I would like to have psychologists working with me who are also happy to be family therapists and work with families. So we would like therapy space to be a safe space for every one of you in your family.